polymorphism is closely related to inheritance. You know how inheritance represents an is-a relationship? Polymorphism also has that same kind of relationship. So undergraduate is a student and student is a person. Therefore, one instance, such as undergraduate, can pick up the behaviors and attributes of more than one class. That's how polymorphism maintains the capacity to take on many forms. With this diagram, undergraduate has three forms. Undergraduate has the form of a person, undergraduate has the form of a student, and undergraduate also has the form of its own type, undergraduate. There are two ways to implement polymorphism: method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading involves the same class, and method overriding involves different classes. In this polymorphism session, we will investigate method overloading, method overriding, and both Java bindings. Method overloading refers to static binding, while method overriding refers to dynamic binding. Let's start with method overloading. In Java, method overloading is when more than one method has the same name but different parameters. Go to Eclipse. We see two methods named add. However, there's an error. The error states duplicate method add int in type overload. That means both methods share the same name and share the same parameter declarations. To overload a method, the parameter list must be unique. The type and or number of parameters must not be the same. Let's start with the type. Change the second type to double. Include double in the print statement. Save, and the error goes away. Copy and paste. We can also swap the types. Int and double to overload a method. Also swap in the print statements. Double, int. All three methods have a unique order of types. First method, int. Second method has int double. And the third method has double int. Now, let's look at the number of parameters. Copy and paste. Then add int num3. We see every way to overload a method because the type and or number of parameters are unique. Also update the print statement to int numbers and include num3 in parentheses. The return type has no impact on overloading a method because Java does not decide which method to execute based on the return type. If I copy and paste, then change the return type to int. Remove the print statement. Then assign num1 plus num2 plus num3 to int sum equal. Print statement sys out add 3 int numbers equal plus sum, and return statement sum. hover both arrows, and they show duplicate method add, double int in type overload. The return types are different, but they're still an error. A difference in return types cannot be used as an overload method. Change the first type to int. And now we have our overloaded method. A constructor can be overloaded by using this same principle. Next, we will take a look at method overriding. Cool. Method overriding allows a superclass to specify a method that will be common to all subclasses. Combining inheritance with method overriding satisfies the one interface, multiple methods aspect of polymorphism. A superclass defines the general method that can be used by all of its subclasses. Each subclass is flexible to define its own specialized method while enforcing one consistent interface. Method overriding only happens when a method in a subclass has the same return type and signature as a method in the superclass. In our diagram, student is a child of the person class. It's also the parents of graduate and undergraduate. In real life, graduate is a student who has a bachelor's degree and pursuing a master's or doctorate degree. An undergraduate is a student pursuing a bachelor's or associate degree. Both children classes will automatically inherit the same student method if the method is public. In this session, we already have a person class and student class from the previous inheritance section. The student class extends person. Let me minimize these getters and setters. For starters, I will create a method to calculate the grades for each student. Public int, calculate GPA. We have to create an array to store a list for the grades by writing private int grades. This method returns 0. Now let's calculate the GPA. First, we initialize int sum equal to 0. Then a for loop. Int grade colon grades. Sum is assigned to sum plus the next grade. Return sum divided by grades dot length. Length provides the number of elements in the array. Add getter and setters. Source, generate getter and setters. Select grades, then OK. Here it is. Let's imagine graduate students only get credit for grades 75 and above. Start with a private int field called minimum grade equal to 75. In addition to minimum grade, we need a specialized method only for the graduate class. This method will override the method in the student class. With inheritance, graduate extends student. Control space. Do you see the calculate GPA method and these other methods that override a method in student, we also see some override methods for the person class. Select Calculate GPA and erase the comments. It's not required, but it's recommended we use this override annotation method, override annotation, to prevent an error such as providing a different method name. Now, let's calculate the GPA based on grades 75 and higher. Int sum equal 0. For int grade, call the get grades method from the student class. If the grade is greater than or equal to minimum grade, then sum plus equal grade. This is a shortcut syntax for sum equals sum plus grade. Return sum divided by get grades. Bad typing. Let me try it again. There it is. Get grades divided by length. Okay. This, error. Had to save. You see here, students not saved. But when I save, it goes away. This calculate GPA method is how we implement a specialized method for a child class to override its parent class. Next, we're going to look at the difference between both Java bindings. Yes.
Books available in paperback, ebook, and PDF. All Part 1 ebooks and PDF documents are free. Programming books for UFT. Programming books for Java. Here's the Selenium Automation book. And TestNG. Subscribe to get notification of future videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.